Yo, what's going on guys, Arekkz here, welcome back to another Destiny video. And in today's video, I thought I'd do something I haven't done for quite some time, and that is a raid loot video. Yesterday, I did the Vault of Glass challenge mode on all three of my characters, all three of my hunters, and I got quite a bit of good loot, so I thought what I'll do is show you guys some of the stuff that I got, and also I'll show you some of the stuff that is on 269's character. He's a Titan, so that way you get a decent look at some of the options available. So if you do enjoy this, then a like would be super appreciated. Comment down below, let me know what you guys got yesterday in your loot drops, and also if you missed any of my videos yesterday, then there's a complete guide for both challenge modes and also a video on the Vex Mythoclast. Anyway, turning our attention to the Hunter, this is what I look like right now. I think I look pretty cool. I've basically dropped my kind of hive look that I had before, and I've gone full on Vex. Despite the fact that red is my favourite colour, this just looks pretty awesome. So if I go to my inventory, you can see this is what I look like. Don't worry about the 399, I'm still missing my artifact, but this is my character. Now for those of you guys, just before I start, wondering what shader I'm using, I am using the White Tiger shader. It's a really cool look, but the only thing that is bad about this is that if you look on the cape, it has a low resolution texture, so a little bit annoying, but I just think it kind of matches my look quite nicely. But anyway, turning our attention to, let's start with the gear. So first up, Vex. I almost have the full set. The only thing I'm missing are the gauntlets. So I have the Prime Zealot helm. Now, of course, these do come with ornament slots. I am actually using the old look, the kind of throwback look, because that's actually my favorite helmet that has basically ever been in Destiny. Now, if you do want to have the original look, you can turn it off completely, and you have the original red light that was present in the very first Year 1 Vault of Glass gear. However, the second ornament is basically a blue light variant, so just that, and of course it matches nicely with my gear. However, the new one, the kind of brand new look, is this one here. I'm not actually a huge fan of it. It's got this sort of like Robocop look to it, and the face looks a little bit swollen, so I don't actually like that one, but it is an option there if you guys want it. Of course, you have your various Vex perks depending on, of course, what you're going to be doing. So once you do get this gear and you do get some of the weapons, then doing things like the oracles will be infinitely easier because, of course, you'll have perks that will help you out. For those of you guys that want to see stuff, it has intellect and strength. We also have Shine On, so increased super energy gained from killing minions of the darkness, and also innovation, so bonus grenade energy on all pickups, as well as Vex Striker, so killing a Vex with a critical hit has a chance to spawn an orb, or Vex Breaker, where killing a Vex with a melee attack has a chance to spawn an orb, so pretty useful. Moving on from there down to the chest piece, for the time being, arms, I have the Scarlet Grasp, just because they kind of look somewhat Vex, they kind of match, so that's kind of my temporary stand-in until I get the gauntlets. But the chest piece, some of these I only got last night, so I haven't had a chance to upgrade them just yet, but this is again the sort of throwback look. So the original Year 1 look is this one here, so it has this kind of interesting sort of water coolant cable down there, again in red. The one that looks kind of like that, but is the Year 2 kind of recolor, is this one here, which again I actually prefer, but the brand new ornament is the one that has the kind of interesting, almost sort of skeletal ribcage down the front. It does look quite cool, but if I zoom out for a second and give you a look at the kind of whole character, I'm not as much of a fan of this one. Again, it don't really feel like it matches my look, so to speak, so that's why I went for the other one. Again, quickly scanning over the perks, increase intellect and discipline, pulse rifle ammo or sidearm ammo. You also have mortal medicine, so you gain a boost to recovery per grenade kill, stacks for 20 seconds, or you have void burn defense. And we also have void recovery, so increase recovery for 5 seconds after taking void splash damage. Very good if you are fighting the Templar. After that, we then have the legs. Now, typically I don't wear these because I normally run with bones, but for the purposes of showing you guys my loot, I do have these on. I'm also using the brand new ornament, so again, to deactivate that, this is what they look like from Year 1. So this is the kind of original Vault of Glass gear. The sort of Year 2 recolor, so to speak, looks like that. So they do look pretty cool, but this one is the one that they spoke about in the kind of live stream. They said that this is basically to kind of symbolize people that have returned to the Vault, perhaps kind of, you know, got parts of the Vex as they got along and sort of augmented themselves. So this is my full-on robotic leg. It does look really, really cool. I do wish I could wear this all the time, but honestly, I just can't live without Bones of AO. However, again, quickly going over the perks, we have intellect and strength. We also have sniper rifle ammo, rocket launcher ammo, fist flying, void double down, and you also have last hope, so increased agility after becoming the last guardian standing. So kind of useful in certain situations. Following on from there, I then have the Shattered Vault Cloak. Now, I was actually never really a fan of the original cloak, so this is what it looks like if I deactivate it. This is the kind of back in the day cloak. I know some people like it, I just never really been a fan of it, plus I'm just a big fan of Tanix's cloak because I prefer cloaks with the hood down. However, this is the first time since getting Tanix's cloak that I've actually swapped this out. So this is the slightly sort of recolored version, so basically it just swaps out the gold for this sort of silver blue. But again, if you take on this one, then you have this really, really cool look with this sort of, I don't know, holographic pattern at the top of it as well. So yeah, this one's pretty sweet, and again matches my colour scheme. This has Intellect and Discipline. It also has Pulse Rifle Focus and Sidearm Focus, and it has Vanguard Champion. So that is my gear. There are artifacts that drop during the raid, however I was unsuccessful on all 3 of my raids, so I'm still sitting there waiting for my 400 artifacts, so I'll get that very, very soon. However, let's now turn our attention to the weapons. So I have all of the Adept primaries. I didn't get any of the legendary versions to drop, so I'm purely on exotics. But starting off with my favourite weapon, Vision of Confluence. Despite the fact that Fatebringer is a fan favourite, and I do love Fatebringer, I used it for a very long time. Vision of Confluence was always my favourite Vault of Glass weapon. It just looks awesome. Of course, the Adept versions have this different colour scheme, so this is what it looks like. And then going over the perks again, of course it deals solar damage, so it's nice to have an elemental primary back. This one has Oracle Disruptor, so the weapon deals bonus damage to oracles in the Vault of Glass, very useful for the Atheon challenge. You also have the red dot, the sure sight, and the range lens, and this one has always been my favourite. It's like a kind of ACOG scope. You have full auto, as well as single point sling, perfect balance, and field scout, and you also have Zen moment. Jumping over from there to everyone's favourite, Fatebringer. Of course, this is what it looks like. Again, you guys should be very familiar with this. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have kind of got a Fatebringer equivalent from things like Imago Loop and stuff, but this also has Oracle Disruptor. You have your various different sights again. You have the famous Firefly, which is of course one of the reasons that people love this weapon so much. Plus you have Field Scout, single point sling, and explosive rounds. And you also have Outlaw, so that is really nice to have, and of course this one deals arc damage. Then moving on from there, I have PRAEDYTH'S Timepiece. This is the Pulse Rifle. This one I never really used much before. In fact, in year 1, I didn't actually get this one, so that's probably why I didn't use it. This one also deals arc damage, also has Oracle Disruptor. This one has Red Dot OES, OAS, and also the Focused Lens FLA5. You have Head Seeker. You also have Flared Magwell, Field Scout, Perfect Balance, and finally, Secret Round. So missing a shot with this weapon's burst will fire a 4th shot. It does look really cool. Again, I'm a massive fan of these recolors, so definitely super glad that I got most of the exotics. After that, we then have the ATHEON'S Epilogue, so of course the auto rifle. I did have this in year 1. I did actually quite like it. I know auto rifles, aren't necessarily the favourite thing right now, but I was still a pretty big fan of that back in the day. Again, Oracle Disruptor. This one deals void damage, and you have the ORS, the True Sight, and the ranged RLS3. Plus you have Persistence, Flared Magwell, Field Scout, Perfect Balance, and Glass half full, so the bottom half of the magazine causes additional damage. Finally, under the primary section, I did of course show this yesterday, so I'll be very brief, but the Vex Mythoclast. This is the year 3 version, so of course this is up to 400 light. I haven't infused it just yet, I will do that very, very soon, but this drops at 360 light initially, so you will of course need to infuse it. Again, Timeless Mythoclast, so the weapon has no charge time, it fires a single bolt with each trigger pull, so it's a fusion rifle. Goes in your primary slot, fires like an auto rifle, but of course it is classified as a fusion rifle, deals solar damage, and of course for the rest of the perks, I will just link you to the video I did yesterday if you guys want to see it in depth. Of course, it does have the new ornament. I haven't got this just yet. I do definitely want it because I do prefer the new look, the new sort of silver look. It does look really, really cool. However, that is it for the time being. So, that's my Vex. I unfortunately got no specials whatsoever. I'm really hoping for that sniper rifle, but I guess I'm going to have to wait till next week. So the only other things I got were HEZEN Vengeance, so the rocket launcher. This is actually pretty good. I was using, for the most part, Yellowhorn during the final phase in Atheon, but now that I have this, I can then swap in something like Black Spindle, and of course get some decent DPS out. But you have Oracle Disruptor again, solar damage. This one has hard launch, confined launch, and smart drift control. You also have tripod, so this is able to hold 3 shells, which is very nice, plus heavy payload, javelin, and flared magwell, and also finally Merv Mini, which is rockets fired from this will split into several smaller shells upon detonating, so you get that kind of cluster effect, so very, very useful. And the other one I got is Corrective Measure. Again, something I never actually got in year 1, unfortunately, but void damage again, Oracle Disruptor, and scanning very quickly over these, you guys can see what they have. Of course, you have Persistence again, armor-piercing rounds, perfect balance, field scout, and finally surplus, so expect to find more ammo for this weapon, and it increased your carried ammo capacity. So, that is pretty much all that I got. I didn't get the ghost shell or anything like that. I unfortunately didn't get the ultra rare shader that seems to drop, once in a blue moon. I did of course get the 2 different emblems, so you have Collapse of Space, which I'm not a huge fan of, to be honest, and you then have Glass on Time, which does actually look quite cool. However, I'm a big fan of the one that I have right now. So, that is my Hunter. That's what he looks like right now. That is my Vault gear. Let me go and put my bones back on so you can see what I normally look like, and this is my typical look. However, before I wrap things up, I then want to switch over very quickly to 269's character. This is his Titan. He also got quite lucky on the gear. We of course ran this 3 times again. He's a triple Titan guy, so I can show you guys what the armor looks like. On the weapon front, there isn't too much difference. The only thing that he got that I didn't get was the Found Verdicts. This deals arc damage. Again, you have the Oracle Disruptor, and your options for this are Aggressive Ballistics, Accurized Ballistics, Field Choke. You have Full Auto, as well as Fitted Stock, Single Point Sling, Send It, and finally, Final Round. So this is actually a pretty good shotgun. I know a lot of people kind of hung onto their year 1 versions to use in the Crucible anyway, so now you can get an up-to-date 400 light version. However, speaking about the gear, this actually looks pretty cool. I do like a lot of this gear. So start off with the helmet, the battle cage of KABR. The options for this one, so again, if I deactivate it, this is the original helmet. Now again, I've always been a huge fan of this one. In fact, I kind of prefer this to the new one. So obviously if you look at the new ornament, the kind of recolor throwback version has a slightly wider handle on the top, so to speak, and a blue light, but this is the new helmet. I do like both these, to be honest. This also looks kind of like a character from an anime that I can't remember. If you guys know it, then drop it down below, but either way, still looks pretty sweet. As for the perk side of things, you have Increased Discipline, Strength, Shine On, Invigoration, and Vex Striker or Breaker. So that is your helmet. Moving over to the arms, you then have the Brazen Grips. So turning this off for a second, the traditional arms look like this. Again, they look pretty sweet. I've always been a fan of the Titan Vault gear. To be honest, all the Vault gear looks pretty sweet for all characters. However, put on the throwback ornament, you then have a kind of handle again on the arms, but again, fundamentally the same sort of form factor. The brand new one are the sort of slightly bulkier arms, but they do have the slightly blue glowing light out the side. As for your options, you have Discipline, Strength, Glutton, and Rainbows, as well as Scout Rifle Loader, and Anti-Oracle or Anti-Praetorian. So depending on what you're fighting, you might want to swap between those. Chest piece up next, the new version. Again, not too much of a fan of this one, to be honest. Going back to the original one, this is one of my favourite chest pieces, partly because of the back. I like this sort of like thing on the spine. So the throwback version with the sort of blue lighting looks like that. They basically sort of like added some more cladding to the back, and on the front, you have a few more sort of gears. So turn that off, you can then of course see it looks like that. But the new version, again, slightly bulkier, but what it does have that the other ones don't have is the Wi-Fi signal at the top. So that is quite cool, I'll give you that. I just don't really kind of like the front piece. If I had the front look of the old one and then the back of the new one, I'd be totally down with that. Anyway, jumping over from there, no legs unfortunately, so temporarily these are the sort of standing because they somewhat match the look of it. And then as for your class item, now this is what it looks like in year 1, so this is the standard look. So of course you guys all probably be familiar with this. This was also a very cool looking one. The throwback version, as I'm calling it, is actually this. So that's a very similar pattern to what you have on the back of the Hunter's Cloak. So it's actually quite cool to have that. But I do really like this one here. This is the new version. So again, blue lights hanging down the middle. There's actually a class item that dropped recently that looks like that. I think it came from a Horde chest, but either way, this is very similar to that. However, you have the lights, so again, kind of if you're going to go with the whole complete look, then it will definitely sort of match things up and look quite cool. However, I'll turn it off for now because that's how 2.6 had it before. Options for this one are Intellect, Discipline, Auto Rifle Focus, Rocket Launcher Focus, and finally, Vanguard Champion. So that is pretty much it. That's a look at all of my loot from the 3 Vault of Glass challenge mode runs that I did, as well as some of 269's loot as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Definitely, as mentioned, let me know what you guys got down below. Did any of you guys get Vex? Did you guys get what you were after? Any of you guys got any kind of favourite weapons that you were sort of hoping to get from year 1 and perhaps got them yesterday? Either way, let me know down below. But thank you very much for watching. Take it easy. Catch you next time. Peace out.